Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. I don't even really know what I'm planning on talking about. Actually, you know what though, because I said that I wanted to do another pet peeve episode, so I think that's going to be the plan. I don't know. This might be like two for one special because all right. So today I'm on my lunch break at work. Well, technically I wasn't at work, but I was on my lunch break, but I came anyways, moving on. So on my lunch break, I go into this little store, Bartels. Pretty sure some people might have heard of it. If not, you should go check it out. They be selling some stuff in there. But anyways, I like to take a shortcut to like get around and get to the line easier because if you walk, you gotta like get like all these other people come walking in. So I'm walking, this girl seriously steps out in front of me and then just started walking slow. See, it's stuff like that. I feel like this might not even be, this might just all fall underneath the same category. But overall, my pet peeve is people being rude. I mean, dang, like, I think, and then her boyfriend, I think he can see, whoever that was with her, I think he can see in my face that I was visibly frustrated. And I'm like, bro, if you say something to me, I'm going off on everybody. So I'm like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, man, like she made eye contact with me right when I was about to walk out. That's when she just, oh, let me walk out in front of you and just walk super slow. I'm like, look, I don't like when people walk slow in front of me. You gotta pick up the pace. You have to pick up the pace. If people see me walking, you would have thought like I'm escaping from somewhere because I walk fast. I don't like walking slow. I mean, like if I'm walking with people, then I guess. But overall, if I'm by myself, I walk fast because I try to get to where I need to get to in a certain amount of time. All right, I ain't timing myself, but dang, like pick up the pace. Like you look young, like you're not old, lady. Okay, so it's like you can pick up the pace a little bit, like taking a cruise inside of a store. Like get what you. That's the thing where I'm like, I guess if you're going like shopping or something, you don't really know what you want to get. Like you in there, okay, maybe in the Nike store up the street, maybe in the Nordstrom store that is like next door. Okay, but if you are in a Bartels, a store where they're selling whatever products, who goes shopping like? And then if you're a tourist, who goes shopping like? I know what I'm going to get when I'm going into a store like that. A Red Bull or a protein shake. I'll look around, get what I need to get, I'm out of there, okay? But to go in there and to go shopping as if this is like a blockbuster and you trying to figure out what's the latest movie, nah. Nah, you gonna have to pick up the pace. Blockbusters have been out of business, so it's like there ain't no time to be walking slow off up in places and things. Like even then, if I was like if Blockbusters still exists, I know what movie I'm going up there to get. So that's why I'm like, that's why when they see me in places, I'm in, out. I ain't got time to be looking around unless I'm like actually trying to find something. But yeah, I know people are gonna be like, what if they were actually trying to find something? Well, the lady should have been picking up the pace and been looking around. You're either standing still like in the area where you're like looking for, or you're walking fast to the places that you need to get to. But the walking slow, oh, let me look around and get in front of people and stuff. I'm like, man, that's why I was like, the patience that I have for people, it is like got to its boiling point. Boiling point. It's gotten to the times where I'm all like, man, like I know if I do something like something bad, there's gonna be a bad outcome. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, I don't really want to get in trouble, but I feel like when I'm like 50, 60 years old and I just ain't really got nothing to lose. Oh yeah, there's gonna be some people getting pushed down. No, there seriously is. I'm like, you guys walking way too slow. I'm like, when I reach that age, I'm like, no, you definitely gonna have to pick up the pace. But I'm like, man, it's just annoying. But overall, yeah, people being rude, like, that's another thing where it's like when you say something to a person and then they overall just don't respond. Like that's something that happens to me a lot. Like I really shouldn't be talking about my workplace, but I feel like it would be the best example. To anybody from my workplace that sees this, look, y'all just gonna have to understand where I'm coming from. If I see this person every single day, and I've been working at this place for years, and I've been seeing these same customers for years, but if I go and I ask you, like, oh, hey, how's your day going? And there's just no response, it's stuff like that where I'm like, please bring in your own lunch. Please bring in your own lunch, because I don't want to deal with that. I don't. I am sorry. But it's stuff like that where I'm like, why would you even interact with people if you're not going to interact with people? Like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, if you're not going to respond to a person and they're clearly talking to you, you need to just enclose yourself in some small area and just stay there. But do not go out in public. Like, that's why I'm like, it's just like, yeah, people overall just like being rude for no reason. I'll never forget. It's like probably like one memory of a person. He was just like, this guy. I'm like, man, please don't ever, like, I hope I never have to buy a video game from him again, but I don't think so. I don't know what that man's doing now. But anyways, so I was in GameStops long time ago. This was, how old was I? When did Saints Row the Third come out? Okay, let me see when that video game had came out. Saints Row the Third. That came out in 2011. Okay, so 2011, 2012. I'm going in GameStops. I think it had to have been 2011. I can't remember exactly when. But anyways, I'm in GameStops. I think I've told this story before, but telling it again for the new listeners. But I'm in there. And I asked the man, like, oh, you have Saints Row the Third. Can I get it? Cool. He has the game. Traded in some games. I think I had some cash. So anyway, he's like, oh yeah, if you get the, cause in GameStops they were really trying to push off those power up rewards cards and stuff. So they were like really going off on those. That's why I'm like, I was so happy when my mom got me one of those cards, cause I was like, dang, like this just needs to stop. But anyways, I think, or actually, did I already have it? I think I might have already had it, but I didn't upgrade it, or I didn't do anything like special with it and stuff. So I think I had already had one, but he wanted me to upgrade it and stuff, and I'm like, or to renew it, and I'm like, nah, Brian, come up here for that. Like, I just came up here for the video game. Like, that's all I really want. And so this man, he is trying his hardest to get me to buy this card, or to renew it. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to renew the card. I came up here for a video game. Can I insert this card into my Xbox? No, I cannot. So stop trying to give me this card. Like, bro, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to buy the game. I kid you not. This man got so upset that I didn't buy this card and slammed my game on the counter. I snatched out. I was like, I was looking for something to knock over, but now I'm like, dang, I might get banned from this store. And now I don't really even go in that store anymore. It ain't that it's like the workers are bad. I don't know. I haven't really been buying video games lately. Yeah, I've been kind of like sloughing on the video game stuff. But anyways, yeah, I was like, I really wanted to knock something over. I was like, please, just like, I want this opportunity. Like, man, I think it's something like this, if like that were to ever happen again, where they trying to give me some rewards card and I keep telling them no, and then they slam my product. Yeah, I'm possibly going to knock something over. If I get banned from the store, oh well. I'm like, I don't care. People need to. It's like, if I would have been a little bit crazier, that guy would have had a situation on his hands. But since I'm a nice, caring person, I took my game and I went home. But best believe I did not buy that card from him. I bought it somewhere else. So I'm like, dang, if a person says they don't want it, don't get mad at them. Like, the thing is, I've been to numerous GameStops, okay? Numerous GameStops. And there's this one that's like, that's the one that I usually go to. It's this one down the street from my job. And the customer service in there is just good. 10 out of 10 customer service. They asked me, because right now, currently, my card, it hasn't been renewed. I should go and renew it, but I haven't really been playing a whole lot of video games or going and buying video games and stuff. So, anyways, but when I do go in there, I think last time I did go in there, my card, it still hadn't been renewed. And they was just like, oh, your card it expired a while ago. Would you like to renew it and things? And I was all like, nah, like that's cool. I ain't come up here for all that. They're like, oh no, yeah, no worries. Total be such and such. They gave me my video game. I'm back at work. But if I had to deal with that guy, I probably would have texted my supervisor and said, hey, I'm gonna be a little bit late. You might see some flashing lights outside the building. Don't be alarmed. I know a good hiding spot. But yeah, I'm about to swing on this guy because it's like, dude, you're like slamming my product down. That's what the video game I just bought. And if this video game would have been scratched or I couldn't play it because you want to slam stuff on the counter, yeah, that had been a problem for him, a big problem for him. Because I'm like, I ain't gave you money and things, but no, that ain't even like the last time. I remember the last time I seen that dude. And there was an older gentleman came in there, and he wanted to get. It was one. I can't remember what Resident Evil game it was, but he wanted to get a Resident Evil game, and so he goes up to this guy, the guy that was like slammed my game on the counter. Goes up to him, and he was just like, "Hey, do you have Resident Evil? Let's say it was 5." And the guy was all like, oh, we do, but you don't want to buy that one. This is what the GameStop's guy that slammed my game on the counter, this is what he's saying. So he's like, oh, no, you don't want Resident Evil 5. You want to get Resident Evil 4. I played 5. 5 wasn't good. Resident Evil 4 is better. So the old dude's like, okay. So he eventually just walked out. He didn't even buy the game. And I'm like, this dude is crazy. Like, dang, ain't nobody come up here for no Resident Evil 4. He came up here for 5. Regardless of whichever one is better, he came up there for 1. So I'm like, man, I'm like that guy. It's stuff like that where I'm like, bro, just stop. Just you taking your job way too serious. Like, sell the people the product. If they don't want to buy cards or they don't want to buy your favorite video game, accept it. Accept it, okay? So with that, and then people also being rude on the internet. Like, it amazes me how much racism goes on the internet, and then how much people try to defend their racism. Like, I just had this, I ended up deleting the comment because I was like, this is just stupid. Like, I'm like, bro, there's no way you can defend racism. Like, there's just no way possible. I don't care how many black friends you have. I don't care about your black friends. They don't speak for the whole black community, okay? So, anyways, but no, the guy was all like, oh yeah, like, it's, he's like, it's okay to call a black person a monkey. It's like, cause I've called my black friends a monkey all the time and they don't care. And I'm like, bro, like I said, your black friends, they don't speak for me. They don't speak for the next black person or the black person after that or the black person after that. If you go up to any random black person, that's why I'm like, I tell people that all the time when they be using like racist, derogatory like stuff with me. I'm like, would you go up to a random black person and say this? Like, yeah, it's okay to say it online. They're never going to know where you're at online. But would you go up to a random black person? Let's say it's like freaking Mike Tyson, his first year of boxing. Would you go up to that man and call him the N-word? And I know there's going to probably people be all like, oh yeah, I would do it. Because it's like, he can't hit me. He can't. Bro, I'm like, I wouldn't. If I was Mike Tyson, I wouldn't even care. I lose out my whole boxing career. But I overall will, like, I would try to cause this person to cry. I seriously would. But it's like, see, here's the thing. Racism don't really get to me. So if a person does approach me and they do call me the N-word, I am going to look at them like they're crazy. But overall, my mindset towards them is that they're racist. It ain't like, I don't, it's just, man, it's really crazy how people be trying to, like, I should just do like an episode or just read off. Actually, no, I did a YouTube video where I showed off all the like racist comments that I got, like, from people calling me the N-word. I had people, one guy called me a monkey. What other, yeah, a bunch of derogatory racist stuff. And it was like, they overall just defended it. And I'm like, how do you defend racism? Like, there is an era of racism where there's like no defense towards it. Like, I just don't understand that. Like, it amazes me. It seriously amazes me. I'm like, man, you guys, like, don't have kids. Please do not have kids. I would not want a kid to be born into this world with parents like that. Because it's like, it's because you know they're going to teach their kids that, and their kids are just going to grow up just being rude people. Like, I'm like, man, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that at all. But it's just, man, like, people just be, why are people rude, man? Why? They made a whole song about that. Like, they made a song. Why you gotta be so rude? Why? For what? There's, like, it ain't solving anything. Like, yeah, you overall, I'm not saying that you gotta be, like, happy everywhere you go. Like, yeah, you could be angry at some things, but, like, to be rude and angry all the time, like, yeah, that's a pet peeve for me. I don't like people that's just rude and angry all the time. For what reason they're so mad, I'm like, look, keep that far away from me. I don't want to be around it, okay? I'm a positive, happy-going person, and that's all I want in life. Like, that's all I want in life. The people that surround me, just be positive and happy. If a person says something to you, reply back to them. Okay, it's not like you hearing things, like you clearly heard me and what I had to say. So it's like, respond back to people if they say stuff to you. Okay? What other things? Like freaking rude coworkers. I've dealt with rude coworkers, and I'm like, bro, like, it's like, rude coworkers, I'm like, look, if they start acting, at this point now, if I ever had to deal with the rude coworker, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to cross them. In fact, transfer me to another building. I don't want to be around them anymore. Like, I'm like, no, I can't do it. We got like 2 other locations other than the location that I work at, but I'm like, take me to one of those locations. I don't want to be around somebody if they're going to be rude for no reason and stuff. So anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. I'm going to try to upload videos and this podcast all in 5 minutes. So I think I can possibly do it. I'm getting like my cords ready. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you're new to my podcast, if you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. And if you are purchasing tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. So, and that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching and or listening, and peace.